Welcome to U.S. Homeless Stories.
I didn't lose my family, but they're very much distant from me now.
Why not just go to Kensington where the drugs are and try to survive on the streets? And that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Knowing that I didn't have a place to go, it was scary.
It's tough sometimes, and because of me being an addict, I don't like the world that I'm living in right now, It's just, I hate that I'm alone. I hate that even though me being out here, I still got a big heart.
Philadelphia is a city that never really turns off. SEPTA trains keep moving. Center City keeps selling the idea of progress, and the skyline keeps climbing. On January 22nd, 2025, Philadelphia's point-in-time count recorded 5,516 people experiencing homelessness, including 1,178 living unsheltered. That means thousands are trying to survive without a stable place to sleep, often in the most visible places a city can offer: station entrances, busy corners, storefront edges, parks, and the blocks people rush through without looking up. And in Kensington, along the Market-Frankford line, then the crisis becomes impossible to edit out. One, the current picture on Philadelphia's streets. In the lively essence of Philadelphia, encompassing about 134 square miles and sheltering over 1.5 million souls, the avenues expose a poignant blend of timeless elegance and concealed trials for those deprived of consistent refuge. Meandering through locales such as Kensington, the view of provisional shelters edging walkways and collectives, merging meager assets grows undeniable, depicting steadfast persistence amid trials. This backdrop, graced with over 200 verdant havens spanning more than 10,000 acres, functions as recreation zones and vital sanctuaries alike. Whilst the metropolis's celebrated 1,400-plus vibrant artworks grace surfaces that quietly observe divergent chronicles of uprooting. The City of Philadelphia's 2025 point-in-time survey sketches a grim vista. 5,516 souls confronting homelessness in one evening, a 6% escalation from 2024, encompassing ex-servicemen to budding youths, with 1,178 exposed to elements, signifying a 21% leap that compels multitudes into communal spheres unfit for dwelling, their necessities compacted in sacks amidst perpetual adjustment. This portrayal transcends figures. It embodies the understated weariness of pursuing sustenance from larders or solace in hubs, juxtaposed against emblems like the Liberty Bell resounding elusive liberties. From old cities' antique pathways to expansive manufacturing realms with exceeding 300 desolate edifices, granting momentary reprieve, the concern permeates extensively, where alliances emerge via exchanged advice on secure nooks. Yet the fundamental pang endures. No barriers to envelop a fatigued dusk, diminishing essences in solitude. It's a contemplative cue that existence's abrupt veers, akin to occupational forfeiture or wellness encumbrance, could entice anyone into this domain, inciting our unified compassion to suture these rifts. As U.S. Homeless Stories scrutinizes these veracities, allying with us discloses the authentic cadence of U.S. metropolitan existence. What modest deed might cultivate enhanced comprehension in your vicinity? In beholding this, I perceive that authentic ties commence by peering profoundly, venerating each odyssey, a quintessence of U.S. homeless stories. If this arouses you, like to highlight these perceptions, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories for additional delves. 2. Open substance use without a way out. Amid the pulsing veins of Philadelphia, especially the over 2-mile stretch of Kensington Avenue, substance dependence has become a challenging fixture of life on the margins, pulling many unhoused people into a cycle that feels impossible to escape. Even with 50-plus community gardens meant to restore the neighborhood, the streets nearby often turn into quiet arenas of suffering, where substances aren't used for fun, but as a desperate shield against instability and trauma. The Substance Use Philly 2025 overview shows how dangerous the supply has become, medetomidine appearing in nearly 80% of tested samples, complicating overdose response and treatment in an area where calls for help outpace resources. People can wait up to 6 months just to access consistent support, leaving many trapped in survival mode. So Philadelphia has 20-plus harm reduction hubs for safer supply exchanges, but demand keeps surging. Prevention point. Philadelphia's 2024 to 25 records show 2,494 contacts for ongoing assistance, up from 539. Yet that still barely reaches the full scale of need. On the ground, the picture is haunting. People searching for a hidden corner to find momentary relief, then resurfacing into a reality that feels increasingly distant from their former selves. Penn Medicine's July 2025 Insights note xylozine's continuing role in contributing to physical challenges that make daily life even harder and deepen isolation. In Kensington, the evolving drug mix can lead to noticeable changes in energy and appearance, making it tougher for individuals to navigate their circumstances. So, what subtle initiative could open a path through this hardship? Sometimes it's not complicated. Mobile outreach teams stationed daily on Kensington Avenue, offering on-the-spot wound care, hygiene kits, overdose prevention, and direct fast-track links into treatment without months of waiting. Small, steady presence can be the difference between slipping further under and getting a real chance back. If this reality stays with you, please like and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories for more unfiltered stories that most people never stop to see. Three, families, children, and impacted living environments. Within the woven threads of Philadelphia's neighborhoods, homelessness doesn't just take away a roof. It quietly shakes family bonds and the fragile world of children, turning home into something temporary and uncertain. When there's no stable shelter, parents must hold their kids close while also fighting for survival. And the simplest joys, shared meals, bedtime routines, a calm corner to rest, become luxuries that slip away day after day. Philadelphia's 2025 point-in-time count, released January 2026, reveals a painful reality. 443 households with children were identified as homeless, about 10% of all counted households, and 780 children under 18 were living through this instability. Even if that number slightly dips compared to earlier, it still exposes how many young lives are being shaped by fear, disruption, and constant moving from place to place. The emotional weight is heavy. Families try to nurture their kids without basics: quiet sleep, a steady place to study, a predictable routine, so bonds get strained in ways that outsiders rarely see. In areas like North Philadelphia, programs for after-hours care and safe spaces can support hundreds, but demand still spills over into waitlists. Schooling suffers too. Disrupted attendance can climb sharply. And state-level education insights, 2023 to 2025, point to 10,158 students across Pennsylvania facing homelessness-related barriers, with thousands connected to Philadelphia's orbit, kids carrying stress no child should have to carry. So what tender gesture could strengthen a family's bond in times like this? Sometimes it's simple: a stable, child-friendly space after school, somewhere consistent for homework, dinner, and calm, because one predictable routine can hold a family together when everything else is falling apart. As U.S. Homeless Stories continues, we'll connect these family struggles to the next layer: how hygiene burdens and daily survival pressures deepen the heartbreak. If these family echoes touch you, Please like and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories for more stories that keep human dignity at the center. Four, sanitation issues on streets beyond management. In the constant movement of Philadelphia's diverse districts, where over 2,500 miles of roadways weave through everyday life, preserving hygiene in shared spaces has become an overwhelming obstacle for those without dependable refuge. Pathways are often blanketed with heaps of discarded materials, impromptu settlements, and escalating clutter that morph bustling locales into areas needing ceaseless oversight. This transcends mere upkeep. It's a vital concern where sparse resources drive individuals to makeshift coping, breeding cleanliness hurdles that resonate with everyone utilizing these environs. The City of Philadelphia's 2025 point-in-time count logged 1,178 people in unsheltered settings, a notable 21% uptick from 976 in 2024, forming concentrations where refuse amasses swifter than routine removals can cope, especially in Kensington, encompassing 24% of these situations. This progression sees hundreds shifted to fringes, adapting public domains into provisional abodes, where ordinary essentials like securing a washroom morph into lasting impediments. The heartfelt strain is immense. Envision an individual foraging through containers for basics, meeting the ordeal of no secluded spots for essential functions, yielding surroundings vulnerable to health matters that permeate collectives. In Center City, hosting millions of yearly guests, the bulk of remnants from these arrangements has spurred over 500 area purification initiatives annually, but the breadth lingers, demonstrating how curtailed cleanliness supplies uphold a loop of tribulation. In Kensington's core, as per the Kensington Community Revival's 2025 stats from the City of Philadelphia, cleanup teams gathered significant amounts of biohazard waste alongside routine block sanitations, underscoring the pervasive spread of hazardous discards amid trash accumulations that include abandoned tents, mattresses, and personal belongings scattered like forgotten fragments of lives paused in limbo. Local accounts from 2025 reports by the American Prospect describe sidewalks strewn with such waste and hazardous items every few hundred feet, turning simple navigation into a cautious endeavor. While Project Reach's efforts, as noted in Reason.org's September 2025 commentary, remove thousands of trash bags and large quantities of biohazard waste yearly, yet the relentless buildup persists. We're painting a vivid picture of daily endurance amid overwhelming debris. This actuality mirrors how unforeseen life pivots. Perhaps occupational adjustments or wellness outlays might position anyone in akin plights, accentuating our joint commitment to nurturing orderly, more nurturing mutual territories. As we investigate these facets on U.S. Homeless Stories, journeying with us unveils the true essence of metropolitan existence in America. What straightforward societal measure might soften these habitual trials for all? In musing on this, I perceive how delicate displays of consciousness erect ties, signifying that regard in joint realms forms a united undertaking. If this awakens your feelings, ponder liking to convey approval, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories for more chronicles that bind us to these veiled verities. These purification predicaments associate directly to comprehensive scarcities, where the dearth of steadfast selections intensifies each adversity, inspiring us to inspect the elemental sources ahead. Five, shortages in housing and treatment facilities. Deep within the fabric of Philadelphia's ongoing homelessness challenges, a profound shortage of affordable housing and dedicated treatment centers stands as a barrier that traps countless lives in uncertainty. In a metropolis where the average monthly rent now edges toward $1,350, pricing out many from even basic stability. Think of the quiet desperation of a single parent packing up belongings yet again, shifting from one temporary spot to another, or an individual staring at a years-long queue for a subsidized apartment. Their sense of belonging eroded by endless uncertainty. According to the University of Pennsylvania's Housing Initiative in its May 2025 analysis, the city faces a deficit exceeding 64,500 affordable units tailored for low-income families, a mind-boggling shortfall that annually displaces hundreds to the streets. Mirrored in the 2025 point-in-time counts tally of 5,516 people experiencing homelessness overall, marking a 6% rise from the previous year's 5,209. This isn't merely a number on a page. It translates to real exhaustion from perpetual movement, carrying life's essentials in worn bags, and the deep-seated longing for a simple door to close at day's end, a sanctuary amid the city's relentless pace. Compounding this are the overstretched treatment options for mental well-being and recovery support, with citywide specialized beds numbering under 1,500 despite escalating demands. As outlined in the 2025 Housing Inventory Count from the Office of Homeless Services, compelling many to skip vital assistance and extend their time in unforgiving outdoor conditions. Across areas such as South Philadelphia, stretching along its 10-mile Delaware River edge, upscale developments prioritize affluent newcomers, sidelining those with modest means, where the National Low-Income Housing Coalition's 2024 report reveals a stark ratio of just 35 affordable dwellings for every 100 households earning at the lowest income levels, heightening eviction threats that could strike unexpectedly in anyone's life due to a sudden setback like illness or financial strain. This common vulnerability gently reminds us that such hardships aren't distant tales, but potential realities we might all face. Encouraging a collective empathy to ensure shelter and healing aren't privileges reserved for the fortunate few. How could bolstering these essentials transform individual paths forward? As U.S. Homeless Stories peels back these intricate details, sticking with the narrative exposes the enduring spirit embedded in our nation's trials. If these accounts strike a chord within you, giving a like helps spread awareness, and subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories lets you walk alongside us through even more profound explorations. Six, resource limits facing the crisis scale. Beneath the surface of Philadelphia's efforts to combat homelessness lies a fundamental mismatch between available resources and the ever-expanding scale of the need. In a sprawling city that covers 142 square miles and serves as home to a mosaic of neighborhoods each facing unique pressures. Envision the tireless work of outreach teams distributing blankets and hot meals under overpasses, only to return the next day to even longer lines, as the system's capacity buckles under the weight of rising demands. The Office of Homeless Services 2025 Point-in-Time Report unveils a jarring reality. Chronic homelessness has surged to 1,612 individuals, a staggering 49% increase from 1,080 just a year prior, stretching thin an annual services budget of roughly $150 million, which must cover everything from shelter operations to case management across the city's vast expanse. This fiscal strain isn't just bureaucratic. It manifests in the quiet exhaustion of people waiting hours for a spot in warming centers during cold snaps, their belongings bundled close as they navigate a network of over 1,500 bus stops that double as temporary havens, while highlighting how limited funding leaves gaps that turn daily survival into an unending marathon. With more than 400 nonprofit organizations pitching in to fill voids, coordination becomes a labyrinth, as fragmented efforts struggle against monthly influxes of thousands seeking aid, including the heart-wrenching count of 780 children caught in homelessness in 2025 alone, per the same report, forcing families to improvise in ways that erode their sense of normalcy. The hardship unfolds in subtle, wearing ways. A veteran sifting through donation bins for warmer clothes, or a young adult lingering in public libraries for daytime refuge, all while the city's infrastructure strains to keep up, reminding us how economic shifts or personal setbacks can swiftly alter anyone's circumstances, placing them in this very cycle. This shared potential for vulnerability gently prompts us to consider our roles in strengthening these support networks, weaving a fabric of community care that benefits everyone. What unified step might help close this resource gap over time? As U.S. Homeless Stories unravels these interconnected threads, remaining engaged opens doors to the profound stories of endurance shaping our urban world. If these glimpses stir something within you, a like can help echo their importance. And subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories invites you to share in future revelations. Even as these constraints hold firm, signs of innovative responses begin to surface, steering us toward exploring avenues for meaningful advancement. Seven, solutions and the path ahead. Amid the persistent challenges of homelessness in Philadelphia, glimmers of progress emerge through a mix of urgent interventions and visionary strategies designed to restore dignity and stability to those in need, all rooted in community collaboration without casting blame. Short-term measures are gaining traction, such as the pop-up resource fairs that assisted over 10,000 individuals in 2025 alone, distributing essential hygiene supplies and career guidance in neglected areas spanning 20 square miles, providing momentary relief to those enduring the daily grind of street life. Building on this, Mayor Sherelle Parker's One Philly plan to end street homelessness, unveiled in December 2025, represents a pivotal commitment. But partnering with Jefferson Hospital to introduce 1,000 new shelter beds by early 2026, a remarkable expansion aimed at sheltering thousands who currently face the harsh unpredictability of outdoor existence, as highlighted in the city's State of the City address, where Parker pledged to bring these beds online this winter to combat visible street homelessness. Looking further ahead, the HOME, Housing Opportunities Made Easy initiative, sets an ambitious target to create or preserve 30,000 affordable housing units by 2030, with the Philadelphia Housing Authority focusing on 20,000 specifically for the lowest income residents. According to 2025 reports from Project Home, which applauds the plan while urging emphasis on deep affordability and prevention tools like tenant-based rental subsidies that could clear waiting lists and stabilize vulnerable households earning as low as 30% of the area median income. These efforts extend to innovative programs, including the conversion of vacant lots into modest homes as piloted in 2024 and expanded in 2025 by the Office of Homeless Services, alongside over 300 volunteer-led mentorship and job training sessions that guide individuals through rebuilding, transforming moments of setback into pathways of renewal, where a simple roof overhead allows for healing and contribution. In neighborhoods like Kensington, where the crisis is most acute, such strategies aim to break cycles by integrating recovery support with housing, or reminding us that life's unforeseen dips, perhaps a sudden health issue or economic shift, could lead any of us to seek similar aid, fostering a shared sense of responsibility to support these lifelines. How might one small act from you contribute to this momentum in your own community? As U.S. Homeless Stories uncovers these evolving stories of hope, remaining engaged reveals the authentic potential for change woven into America's urban tapestry. If these glimpses of possibility stir something within you, a like can help uplift more voices like these, and subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories invites you to journey with us through additional narratives of human strength. Eight, wrapping up, final message. As we draw the curtains on this heartfelt journey through the shadowed corners of Philadelphia's streets, the stories we've uncovered stand as a poignant testament to the unyielding spirit of those navigating life without a steady anchor. These individuals, often overlooked in the rush of daily routines, embody a quiet resilience that speaks volumes about human endurance, finding warmth in a shared blanket during chilly nights, forging bonds over a modest meal from a local outreach, or holding on to dreams of brighter tomorrows amid the city's relentless hum. Their experiences remind us that homelessness isn't a distant abstraction, but a lived reality where simple joys, like a moment of peace, or a kind word from a passerby, it become lifelines. To every person out there facing these trials, know that your strength inspires. Your stories matter, and your humanity shines through the hardships. You are not defined by your circumstances, but by the courage you summon each day to keep moving forward. This exploration on U.S. homeless stories has aimed to bridge the gap between awareness and action, highlighting how empathy can transform indifference into meaningful support. We've seen the layers of challenge, from the daily battles for dignity to the sparks of community hope, all underscoring that true change blooms from collective kindness. In these narratives, there's a gentle nudge for all of us to pause and reflect. Perhaps extend a helping hand through local volunteers, or simply offer a smile that acknowledges shared humanity. It's in these small gestures that we honor the profound worth of every life, fostering a world where no one feels invisible. How can we each carry a piece of this understanding into our own lives to make a difference? As U.S. Homeless Stories continues to illuminate these vital truths, your engagement brings these voices to light in ways that ripple far and wide. From the depths of my heart, I want to extend a sincere thank you to you, our viewers, yet for investing your time and opening your hearts to watch until the very end. Your presence here means the world. It fuels our mission to share these stories with authenticity and compassion. And it's because of dedicated souls like you that we can keep shining a light on what truly matters. If these reflections have touched you deeply, consider giving a like to echo this message further, and subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories ensures you'll join us in discovering more tales of quiet heroism and hope. Together, we're not just observers, we're part of the change.